conservatives, black people, white people, and everybody in between. It's time we had a heart-to-heart talk. We got to have a reality check. I got some good news and some bad news. Which one y'all want first? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Quam Teasy with the Christocrats and the Red Pill Reality here with one more, yet another video, giving you that reality, talking to you about politics, pop culture, things that are going on in our society as it pertains to us conservatives and those who serve the Lord and who are adhering to biblical values as best we know how and letting that bleed into our politics so that we can have a effect on this world. So like I said, I got some good news and some bad news. Which one y'all want first? Which one? You want the, okay, I'm gonna give you the bad news first. We need to have a talk. Come on, let's have a little powwow. Black conservatives, white conservatives, Hispanic conservatives, every other, you people that serve the Lord, that are also politically involved. Come on, we gotta have a talk. Come on, you ready? Sit down. All right, so let me tell you something. We have to stop expecting the opponent to want peace. There it is. That's the bad news. They do not want peace. They don't want unity. There's this thing that's going around that, everybody feels it and everybody's upset about it, that there's so much division going on and we're upset about it and all that. And the reason why they don't want division or want unity, how you can tell they don't want unity, is they are not willing to give up any ground politically to come to the middle. They're not willing to compromise in any form or fashion to admit anything that they're doing in order to come to a middle ground. They want you and I to take the blame for everything. Matter of fact, they are actively doing that. So the most recent, we'll work most recent and go backwards. The latest shooting, the tragedy in Pittsburgh, where the synagogue got shot up, that's Trump's fault. And by extension, it's you and I fault because we supported Trump. And then before that, the violence that we're seeing, in our world, all the things that are going on that are troubling, that are going on is our fault. This guy that sent the bombs or the fake bombs that were not even set up to go off, which they conveniently ignore. That's Trump's fault. What he's saying in campaign speeches 2 years ago it's his fault, right? So they're blaming him for saying stuff 2 years ago that's affecting now, and that's his fault, right? And I'm gonna explain to you how that's bogus, but just so you know, they're not trying to give up any ground, right? Anything that happens, if it's obviously their fault or they've had any part in it, they're going to turn around and say, no, it's Trump's fault. So because it's Trump's fault, it's y'all's fault. And anything that he does allows us to do anything that we want to do, right? And so you got to understand that when you're talking to these people and you have a intention to try to want to change their mind or defend your position, you're not going to get anywhere. That's the bad news. And the reason why I'm telling you this, I'm not telling you to stop talking to them. They may stop talking to you. I'm not telling you to stop, because some of these may be your family members. But what I am saying is that when these subjects come up, don't expect them to come to the table with the same good intentions to hear them out that you would want them to do. Like you would want them to hear you out. They're not going to. They don't want to. They think that you are evil because you voted for Donald Trump. They think if you're black, they think that you are an Uncle Tom. And I'm sure a lot of you black conservatives have come up against the same thing. Just this past weekend, we had the YBLS, the Young Black Leadership Conference that came up, that was there in Washington, put on by Charlie Kirk and the TP USA, Turning Point USA, and Candace Owen and all that. It was a great thing that happened, historic. And by the way, I want you guys to go ahead, whether you're white, black, or whatever, I want you to go to blexit.com, blexit.com. That's going to be the feature of the week, is to go to blexit.com, check it out. It has a lot of great information on why nobody, especially black people, should be part of the Democratic Party, the current Democratic Party or former. But I digress. The bad news is that we are at a point that the division in the country is exposed, and I don't think it's ever going to, the Pandora is out of the box. I don't think it's ever going to, Pandora's box has been opened, and I don't think it's ever going to get put back in there because it's been exposed. And I have a question for you. When in America's time were we ever politically unified? Was there ever a time when we were politically unified? I'll wait. Never. We weren't in the Civil War happened because we weren't politically unified. They weren't even unified during the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We've never been politically unified. There was fighting, during Bush's years, during Obama's years, during Clinton's years, during Bush 1's years, during Reagan's years. But there was a sense that America was generally morally unified. But what happened? This is all part of the bad news, and I'm gonna get to the good news in a second. But what happened? It was the chipping away of the moral code that we all seem to go by. Moral relativism is what caused the division you're seeing right now. So when you and I adhere to what we see as truth, that's fact, and it's easy to see, they are on the other side believe that there's moral relativism, that they can figure out what the morals are as they go. Each person has their own moral reality, and it to them is just as real as they make it into truth, even though it may not be truth. So then you get people that think that they can switch up their genders. That's moral relativism. Then you get people that think that killing a baby is fine. It's not killing a baby. It's protecting women's rights. And we know that, wait, this is lunacy. This is lunacy, and it goes against science. Then you got people that try to virtue signal you about the environment when they use certain terms and certain statistics that are skewed. 97% of scientists, 97% of a specific kind of scientists. Not all scientists agree, not of all scientists, but they won't tell you that. So they believe that Trump is literally a reincarnation of Hitler. They think that that can be the furthest from the truth. So they have knee-jerk reactions that become fact in their brain, so that when you talk to them, they can't even hear what you're saying. They won't even hear what you're saying. So you come to the party thinking that, like, hey, maybe we can have an exchange of ideas. Maybe we can, come to an agreement, come to the middle ground. And they don't want to come to any middle ground. They don't want it. So the bad news is that we have to give up that thought that they want to have some unity. But the good news, can I get a drum roll, please? We get to win. Truth always wins. As long as we don't give up, truth always wins. And believe it or not, the truth wins, and it benefits those who may be blind. It still benefits them. So the truth is that when you do your research and you have a good heart and a good heart towards unity and want to be unified, you will usually win those people over on the moral arguments. And you can find that common ground for people that are actually wanting that common ground. They may not agree with you politically. We're always going to have differences that way. But if you are able to reach them in a moral way and they can agree with you, then they will usually come to your side and find out that they're more conservative than they think. They're more conservative than they actually know. They've just been, lied to a lot, and they believe those lies. So the good news is that now is a great time for you who are conservative, who are young, old, black, white, rich, poor, whatever it is, and Christian. It is time for you and I to get out there and use whatever giftings and abilities and talents that you got to get the truth out there. But you got to do it in a joyful way. Do it in a way that is attractive, not in a way that's always angry and pointing and defensive. Because if you're always defensive, even though there's a lot to defend, but if you're always being defensive, then that is a deterrent from people being attracted to you. And it will attract more attackers. So what you need to do is you need to be joyful, know your stuff, be joyful, and look for ways to use your talents to push the truth forward. That's what I'm all about, is pushing the truth forward. And in that truth, the ultimate truth is that our morality, the moral code that is set, that is in everybody's heart, was given to us by God, our creator. By the God that we serve, gave us that moral code. Atheists will try to tell you that there's no such thing. Liberal leftists, progressives, I'll say better, will try to tell you that it's relative to wherever you're at, but that has gotten us the division that we see now. So the good news is that right now is the opportunity for you to get out there and do whatever you need to do. Even though Twitter and some of these other, YouTube and other places are actively trying to hush us up, there's too many outlets out there for that to happen. We need to show the contrast between us and them. The contrast, especially with the midterms coming up, the contrast between us and them. So the good news is that you and I have the opportunity to speak out and use our giftings that are out there. Jobs are still doing great. The economy is still doing great. More and more people are beginning to wake up. You have people on Twitter trying to say that the walkaway movement is bots. They're still saying that. Over 5,000 some odd people showed up in Washington, and it's about as Russian bots. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm finding out, that the bad news is not so much bad news. It's just waking up to reality. Let's just be real. Some people, and I feel bad because some people's families are not going to rock with you. That's on them. Let that be on them. You still be you. Don't let this thing change you. And you be the godly woman or man that you're supposed to be. Love people unconditionally. Speak the truth, but do it with a smile on your face, and don't let their attitude get it on the inside, right? That's been my message lately. I got some great news coming up. We got some great, awesome, cool announcements coming. So stay tuned. We love you guys. We're steadily moving along here. Go ahead and smash that like button. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button so we can get in that algorithm. Subscribe, share, please share. Send this video to other people that need some encouragement. Some other conservatives, Christians, believers that need some encouragement. Remember that your voice is needed. Your voice is needed. Start a YouTube channel. Get on Twitter. Get that clothing company, the t-shirt company that you wanted to get going. All of that. And there is a swell of positivity, of conservatism that is moving. I don't think that there's going to be any kind of blue wave whatsoever. And it's not about those two parties, Republican or Democrat. It's about what is right, truth, what is right. Stick up for what is true, right. Loving those who are least of these, and doing it in a way that's fair for everybody. Right? That's what it is. That's what it is. So love you guys. That's all I got for you right now. Hopefully don't forget to turn your clocks back, in a week. And like I said, we got great announcements coming for you. Check out Blexit. That's the feature for this week is Blexit. Go to blexit.com. Read through. They got a lot of great information. Pick up some of the merchandise, even if you're not black. And you support it. Support it. We accept, y'all all in the family anyway. But especially those of you who are of the brown persuasion, the darker persuasion, go ahead and get some knowledge there. So remember, love God, hate sin. Smash the like button, hit subscribe. Remember, we're not left. We're not right. But up.